Tonight, new numbers out on Lansdowne 2.0 suggest the cost to the taxpayer will be less than anticipated.
The actual construction cost is lower than we forecast. The total project cost is lower than we forecast.
But there is pushback this evening as some councillors and community members take issue with the mayor's calculations. Even as Premier Doug Ford introduces legislation to eliminate photo radar cameras.
Trying to assure speed control using other interventions simply just won't be as effective.
Demonstrations across Ontario and at an Ottawa school in the hope of holding on to the cameras and seeing the province reverse its plan. And battling a quick-spreading wildfire near Gracefield, Quebec.
It was bad, a bad fire, like a big rolling red fire. I was afraid my house was going to burn down.
In heavy winds yesterday, the blaze burning through 11 hectares of land, what the experts are saying tonight. Good evening. Taxpayers are learning tonight the price tag of one of the biggest construction projects in the city's history and who will build it. The mayor says Lansdowne 2.0 will cost $418.8 million, just slightly less than the original estimate, with two developers now selected for the project. CTV's Leah Larocque joins us live in studio with more. Leah.
Well, Patricia, the full report on Lansdowne 2.0 was only just released moments ago, and it includes hundreds of pages of documents. But hours before its release this morning, the mayor held a press conference announcing the final price tag, reiterating that Lansdowne 2.0 is a good investment for residents.
Lansdowne is getting a facelift. Mary Omara doesn't like the plan.
I don't like those high rises. I don't like the lack of green space. I don't like the costs. I think there's a lot of things the city could spend the money on.
But the mayor says the cost of Lansdowne 2.0 isn't going up.
The big news today is that Lansdowne 2.0 will cost us much less than we thought it would when the plan was approved by City Council 2 years ago.
The mayor says the final price tag sits at $418.8 million, compared to the original estimate of $419 million.
The actual construction cost is lower than we forecast. The total project cost is lower than we forecast. And the actual revenues from the air rights are much higher than we forecast.
Taxpayers will be on the hook for about $130 million, or about $4.3 million a year.
Any project's always going to go over budget, or most of the time they're going to end up over budget.
Lansdowne 2.0 includes two condo towers, a brand new event center, and replacing the north side stands.
Let's face it, it's kind of old. Like, I go to Good Life and it's like leaking.
But the councillor for the area says that the mayor's numbers are wrong, and the actual cost of Lansdowne 2.0 will be much higher, closer to nearly $500 million.
The mayor did not include the extra costs for the retail podium, which are going up to $44 million, and he did not include the $19 million parking costs that the city is building for the residential towers. So the total cost is $483 million.
Under the partnership with the Ottawa Sports and Entertainment Group, the city would cover the cost of building the new arena and stands.
Don't do it. Just don't do it. We don't need less facility and less green space.
I'm excited about it. Yeah, I think it's good. I think there's cool up for the arena and the stadium and stuff.
So now that the report is out, we know that EBC Inc. has been selected as the general contractor for the event center and Northside stands. Mirabella Development won the bid for the two residential buildings. Patricia.
All of a sudden, it seems like this is happening quickly. So what actually happens next, Leah?
Well, this report will go to committee next week, and if it passes there, it will then go to council in November. But already there is a call to delay the vote until later in November to give more time for the public and councillors to examine this report a little closer. Patricia.
All right, CTV's Leah Larocque live for us tonight. We know some of the councillors were not happy with the mayor speaking so early ahead of this report coming out. We will put that to the mayor a little bit later in the show when he joins us for a live interview in our newscast. And you can scan the QR code on the bottom of your screen to link to us online, or visit ctvnewsottawa.ca. We have more details on the Lansdowne 2.0 project and the estimated cost. Well, MPPs are back at Queen's Park, and one of the first things on the agenda is the speed camera ban. The Ford government introducing legislation today to force municipalities across the province to turn those cameras off. But the move is facing pushback across Ontario, including here in Ottawa. Parents holding rallies demanding they be kept in school zones. CTV's Josh Morano joins us now live on this growing protest against the Premier's actions.
Yeah, Patricia, the speed camera ban is one of the measures included in a broader economic bill tabled at Queen's Park today. And while the province says they are protecting taxpayers, people I spoke with today say it takes away protection from children in school zones. Outside Woodruff Public School, signs reading "Save Our Safety Cameras," sending a clear message to the province to slow down.
We should not break what's working. We have something that works now, and we should just keep it in place.
Bouchard's child attends the West End School just off Woodruff Avenue, a busy stretch of road where a camera monitors drivers' speeds.
At this very location, we know that compliance is only 77%, and in the short time that the camera has been installed, it's shot up to 88%, so it's making a real difference.
We walk to school or bike to school every single day. I would love for my children to be able to do that independently when the time is right, but I cannot trust this government to keep my kids safe.
But the camera on Woodruff, along with every other one across the city, are set to be turned off.
There's other ways to combat this rather than punishing pocketbooks, and that's what we really want to focus on.
Despite calls to keep photo radar in school zones, the provincial government has introduced legislation to ban them across the province.
We're seeing that it's not effective in some of these areas. That's prevented 100% of the time by ensuring that there's speed bumps, other traffic calming measures that reduce the speed at the point of a car entering into one of these zones.
The demonstration in Ottawa, part of a province-wide day of action organized by parents, councillors, and road safety advocates.
The amount of volume of traffic that's going to go through here isn't going to go down. It's going to remain high because of the type of road that it is. And trying to assure speed control using other interventions simply just won't be as effective.
Doug Ford should go to a parent council meeting and listen, because that's where we're hearing it from. Parents care about their kids. They want their kids to be able to walk to school, and they're worried about them crossing roads.
Ottawa currently has more than 60 automated speed cameras, most in community safety zones near schools and playgrounds.
I need him to explain to us why fines for bad behavior, fines for breaking the law is a problem in this area and not in others.
For Bouchard, she says the province should work with municipalities, not against them, when it comes to road safety.
A blanket ban is very, very ill-conceived, because this is one of the traffic control measures that actually has the most data proving just how effective they are.
The bill, if passed, will end the use of municipal speed cameras and instead focus on alternative traffic calming measures such as speed bumps and roundabouts, as well as enhanced signage. Patricia.
CTV's Josh Morano live for us tonight. Thank you. Well, some dramatic scenes playing out across our region yesterday. Wildfires consuming cottages, forcing evacuations, and leaving many residents on edge. For families in Western Quebec, it's been a long 24 hours after a fire came uncomfortably close to their homes last night. The fire broke out in Gracefield, about an hour and 15 minutes north of Ottawa. CTV's Caitlin Wilson spent the day there and joins us live with the latest. Caitlin.
Yeah, Patricia, it was a scary night for many families in the area. On average, the province says it sees about 40 wildfires between September and November. So far in 2025, there have been more than 200. And despite the rain, a burn ban remains in effect. But officials say not everyone is following it.
The flames were on top here.
Helen Johnson and her son are breathing a sigh of relief after a wildfire burned through Johnson Mountain just behind their home, forcing them to prepare for the worst.
Packing the souvenirs that you know you're never going to get back and wait to see, and we're okay.
Dozens of residents were put on evacuation alert after the fire broke out around 5 p.m. Sunday. Local firefighters, along with Quebec's Wildfire Prevention Agency, rushed to contain the flames.
What was going through your head when you were watching this?
The house is going to burn down.
Helen's sister, Jocelyn, was also on standby. She says their families own the land for generations, and everyone was ready to leave on a moment's notice.
We helped my sister pack and stuff, and he come and he put the boat there in case everything burned down. And my mother, she was ready to leave if something happened.
Overnight, strong winds caused the fire to grow, the darkness forcing provincial crews to pull back, leaving local firefighters to monitor the area. Despite how close it came, no evacuations were needed, and even with the rain, the fire isn't fully out. About 16 provincial firefighters returned Monday, working hotspots as a helicopter flew overhead to assess the damage.
It's still going to take several days of work because of all the hot spots that remain in the ground. But again, visible flame is no longer visible because of the precipitation that we've received.
The cause of the fire is still under investigation, but officials say the majority of recent wildfires have been human-caused by people ignoring burn bans.
It's been really dry all summer, and now in the fall, we've never seen it that dry. It's never happened before.
Despite the rain, an open-air fire ban in the area remains in effect, but for now, residents are grateful their homes are still standing.
I was relieved, yeah. It was bad, a bad fire, like a big rolling red fire there.
And even with cooler temperatures ahead, officials say the risk remains, reminding residents that one small spark can still start a big fire. Patricia?
CTV's Caitlin Wilson live for us tonight. Thank you. Well, in eastern Ontario, crews continue to battle a wildfire in North Frontenac, which has forced some people there to evacuate. There are no reports of any injuries or serious damage at this hour. The fire broke out yesterday along Road 509 in the Ompa area, about 2 hours southwest of Ottawa. As heavy winds last night caused the fire to spread, some residents were forced to leave their homes and shelter at a community hall. Ontario Provincial Police say the fire is still burning, but is no longer spreading. And multiple cottages are destroyed after a wildfire broke out at an island on Bob's Lake yesterday. Firefighters from South Frontenac were called to Birch Island yesterday afternoon. When they arrived, a cottage was on fire and the flames were quickly spreading. In total, 4 cottages were destroyed. The cost of the damage is estimated between $1.5 and $2 million. No civilians were injured, but 2 firefighters were treated for heat stress. The fire was put out today. The fire department says the blaze was caused by someone violating the burn ban. We do have extended coverage of the wildfires burning in our region. There are more stories online at ctvnewsottawa.ca.
Still ahead, the gold experience at the Chateau Laurier, a very special stay as confirmed by Michelin. What the awarding of a distinctive key means to the iconic hotel. That story coming up.
Well, here's a live look partway through, almost through our Centennial Glass Sky Cam. Tonight, a little wet out there. It is 11 degrees in the capital this evening. As we take our first look at the weather forecast, it was certainly a rainy Monday today, Jackie.
I hope you didn't get caught in that rain, Patricia. I certainly did, but I luckily had my rain boots, my raincoat, and the umbrella. But boy, was it a wet one out there. Taking a look at our conditions. How long will this last? Well, it's anticipated to end near midnight. So yeah, it's going to be a wet evening. Current conditions around the region, not just here in Ottawa, sitting around 11, 13 degrees. A little cooler in Brockville at 9 degrees. The rain anticipating to linger close until midnight, but the chance of showers will carry on for the overnight into the early mornings. The good news here for Ottawa, we are expecting a mix of some sun and cloud, getting to a daytime high of 15 degrees. But the thing is that the rain is going to linger for parts of eastern Ontario, but we will get a closer look at that in a little bit. And it is not the only rainy day we are anticipating. That is really what we're anticipating for the rest of the week. Details and much more in a little bit. Patricia.
All right, thank you, Jackie. Well, a major inconvenience for transit users on both sides of the Ottawa River today in that rain. A strike shutting down Gatineau's public transit system. No STO buses are running, and commuters are having to find other, more expensive ways to get where they need to go. CTV's Katie Griffin is here with those details. Katie.
Well, Patricia, about 50 supervisors and trainers walked off the job just after midnight. STO says it's a safety issue, and so buses are off the road. Workers have been without a contract for nearly 3 years and say with no deal in sight, they had no choice.
Even before the sun came up, a show of solidarity. No STO buses are running in Gatineau after 50 supervisors and trainers went on strike just after midnight.
It added a lot of stress, and it added probably like a good 25-30 minutes to my commute.
Kira Caulfield lives in Ottawa and works in Gatineau.
I usually take the OC Transpo bus, followed by the STO across over into the Gatineau side. And today I had to take the bus, followed by the train, followed by walking over the bridge.
The workers have been without a contract for nearly 3 years. The union is asking for a 28% pay increase over 4 years. STO has offered 23% over 7.
This group is lagging way behind in terms of fair market pricing, and we want to bring our people back up to speed. We've been in contact with the federal mediator, hoping to get STO back to the bargaining table.
STO has proposed arbitration and says the two sides remain far apart.
We go to arbitration, that would first put a stop to the conflict right away, and then we both have the chance to say, here's what we believe is fair.
Buses at Tunney's weren't that reliable, so I had to take the train farther in. Crossing my fingers, I get to Gatineau on time.
OC Transpo is running routes to Gatineau. Transit users can take the 8 or 13 from Pimisi Station to the Hull sector.
The app that I'm using keeps on saying that the time is going up, so it said 3 minutes and now it's saying 6 minutes, and that was about 10 minutes ago.
Within Gatineau, a long wait for Martin Lacayo and his wife, who typically take the bus to work.
I have to take an Uber. I have to pay $30 just to go, and $30 to come back.
The cost of alternative transportation adding up the longer the strike goes on.
In a social media post, Gatineau's mayor says the city will be sensitive to those impacted, including offering remote work or a flexible schedule. The STO saying tonight there's still no deal. Buses will not be running tomorrow. Patricia.
All right, CTV's Katie Griffin live for us tonight. Thank you. Well, one person is dead after a head-on crash near North Gore. It happened on Prince of Wales Drive near Third Line Road around 7:40 this morning. The collision involved a car and a pickup truck. The driver of the car was pronounced dead at the scene. The driver of the pickup was brought to hospital with non-life-threatening injuries. Anyone who witnessed the crash or who may have dash cam footage is asked to contact Ottawa Police. And a motorcyclist is dead after a single vehicle collision along the Rideau Canal. Emergency crews were called to Colonel By Drive and Daly Avenue around 8:40 last night. It appears the motorcycle struck the curb. The driver, a man in his 20s, was pronounced dead in hospital. Returning now to Queen's Park, where the controversial Skills Development Fund was under the microscope as the legislature resumed for the first time since June. Opposition parties demanding answers from Ontario's jobs minister during question period today. CTV's Queen's Park Bureau Chief Siobhan Morris reports.
An unrelenting barrage of questions for the Labour Minister at the centre of a scandal. It's over the Skills Development Fund, a $2.5 billion pot for training workers. The Auditor General's described the process of deciding who gets it as not fair, transparent, or accountable.
And what was the common denominator? Lobbyists. Lobbyists with connections to this government, to this premier, and to this minister.
David Piccini's been involved in picking recipients with ties to progressive conservatives who scored low in the criteria for funding.
Openly admitted to a conflict of interest to the premier. Will he ask the Minister of Labour to step aside?
A push all opposition parties are behind.
I think it's indefensible. I mean, he's essentially created a slush fund for PC donors at a time when we have 800,000 people out of work.
The minister defiant and defensive about the program's ability to change lives.
We're never going to apologize for making those investments in those workers.
The minister says there hasn't been quid pro quo in distribution of funds to unions who backed him or his party. And he has no intentions of removing himself from choosing who gets funding.
We work with our officials in that discussion. We have to make sure we have construction workers on job sites. Otherwise, we will delay.
The Premier's office says the Premier continues to have confidence in his Labour minister. The government has introduced legislation aimed at making Ontario's economy more competitive.
An act to amend.
The bulk of the bill focuses on over 300 permits.
How we can get those permits either eliminated or approved faster without jeopardizing the integrity of the environment or public safety.
Siobhan Morris, CTV News.
Well, it is a do-or-die night for the Jays in their quest for the American League Championship. And as we all know, Jays mania has spread far beyond Toronto with the hopes of a nation firmly behind the team.
Popped up. Clement is there. And there will be a seventh and deciding game in the American League Championship.
The Jays now just one win away from their first World Series appearance in 32 years after last night's 6-2 win against the Mariners at home, and the fans are ready to cheer them on again tonight.
Game 7 seems like redemption, but Game 1 and 2
crazy electric. I expect that today the roof is going to be like blown off with the noise.
The vibe is heavy. I remember when we won the NBA championship, and now the Blue Jays is at this point. It's so exciting. The buzz in the city is heavy, so we can't wait to see them win tonight and go to the main final and win it all.
They're going to win. They got to win. Kirk. I love Kirk.
Game 7 gets underway in about 2 hours from now at the Rogers Centre, which is where we find Melissa Duggan with CP24 and with the fans there in front of Rogers Centre. I mean, quite the comeback. If they can actually pull this off after getting down 2-0 in this series, can you imagine the crowd tonight if they can actually deliver this Jays team to its first World Series appearance in decades?
I mean, if they finish this evening up with a win, it is going to be a wild night here in Toronto with some 44,000 plus fans flooding at a Rogers Centre celebrating something huge. That victory would mean they are going to the World Series. Of course, we haven't seen them there since early 1990. So that's a lifetime for so many people that are turning out here today. They have never seen the Jays go that far before, and it could happen. Or the Jays season could come to a bit of a heartbreaking end after 9 innings that we have ahead of us here. A big, huge game. The roof is on the building, but yeah, as you mentioned earlier, if there were these fans cheering as loud as they were last night, expected just to pop off because this is a passionate group. You know, we've been hearing from the team this postseason, just talking about how their fan support is such a motivator for them. Of course, they've got fans right across this country. We were just in Seattle where the Jays were playing, and the support that they saw from Jays fans there was impressive. So what they're going to see here tonight is going to be some tens of thousands of people standing on their feet chanting, "Let's go Blue Jays," for the next several hours or so. We're already seeing fans turn out, and as you mentioned, we're still, just under 2 hours away before first pitch here because they know how much is on the line at this moment. It has been a storybook season for this team. A lot of people would have never imagined they would have made it this far. And just this series alone, to start down 2 games against the Mariners, to fire back, getting some wins under their belt out of town, winning here in Toronto last night, and then bringing the city together for Game 7. This could be one to remember.
It absolutely could. Melissa, thank you so much. And yes, fans right across the country so excited. Had a look at that World Series schedule if it happens. A Saturday afternoon game would be lovely for fans from Ottawa to make that trip. Thank you so much. Have fun tonight.
Everyone was clapping and cheering, and this is a big deal. Our dedicated and focused team were so thrilled and so proud to be recognized with this honor.
Well, coming up, Ottawa's Chateau Laurier Hotel earns a nod from the prestigious Michelin Guide. Jackie.
Thanks so much, Patricia. Well, we had periods of intense rainfall, especially this afternoon. Hopefully you didn't get too drenched out there. It will linger until just near the midnight hour, where we will transition to chances of showers. Here's a live look through our Centennial Glass Sky Cam. It's 11 degrees out there right now, windy as we look towards TD Place. Look at that, wind gusts of up to 55 kilometers per hour.
Well, our popular Team of the Week segment is back. If you want to be a part of our Myers Automotive Group Team of the Week, upload your video to ctvnewsottawa.ca. Ottawa's storied and stately Fairmont Chateau Laurier has something new to celebrate tonight, a prestigious designation called Michelin Key. It's not only about the food, but the whole experience of staying in this historic hotel. Here's CTV's Kimberly Johnson.
It's tall, historic ceilings, it's beautiful food, and dedicated staff. The Fairmont Chateau Laurier is one of the grandest hotels in Ottawa. And now this old institution has a new key, a prestigious Michelin Key.
I think it's really special.
Like its famous Michelin star counterpart, which is given out to highlight high-end dining, the Michelin Key is given out by the Michelin Guide for excellence in hotels and hospitality. British Columbia residents Celia and Carl Mead say they are regular visitors, staying in what's called the Gold Experience.
I really think they go beyond in their attention to detail and the service.
Keeping the heritage aspects, but also modernizing so that we're actually
comfortable.
When I announced it that morning at our operations meeting, everyone was clapping and cheering, and this is a big deal. Come on in.
The Fairmont says the Gold Experience is a hotel within a hotel. 69 rooms over 2 floors in the hotel's East Wing.
We want you to feel special. We want you to feel like you're going to have the best time and the best experience of your life. You have a private concierge to help you set up any excursions, your restaurant reservations.
Guests are given access to private check-in and out, an exclusive lounge, and curated specialized food in the lounge. The Michelin Guide says it's these features that the $450 a night rooms were given its award.
Really want you to come here and have memories that you're going to remember for the rest of your life.
The 113-year-old National Historic Site has hosted celebrities and politicians, and it's an award few other hotels have. Newly created last year, there are only 2,500 hotels across the world that boast it, and only 38 in Canada.
Our dedicated and focused team, we're so thrilled and so proud to be recognized with this honor.
Kimberly Johnson, CTV News.
Well, after yesterday's record-breaking warm temperatures, the weather a little different today. Clouds rolling in overnight, some much-needed rain falling in the capital with some heavy downpours this afternoon. As much as we know that we need the rain, you get one rainy day, you feel like it's been raining for days. It was pretty gray and pretty miserable out there, but there's a good side to all of this.
It was. I'm just really glad that I dressed appropriately. Like, I immediately got my raincoat, I got my boots, and I got my umbrella. So I managed to stay dry. I don't know if that was the case for a lot of people out there today. I did see some people without any umbrellas in that torrential downpour. The good news is it is moving eastward and it is lightening up, but we will still anticipate periods of rain. Here right now, 11 degrees. We're expecting to lighten up around near midnight, but there is still a chance of showers into the overnight. Here's the storm that we are tracking. It's expected to linger around the Cornwall, Hawkesbury area, not until the midnight hour, but also into our early Tuesday morning. But most of the region anticipating a mix of some sun and cloud. Taking a look at tonight's lows, still pretty above seasonal for here in Ottawa. 7 degrees, typically this time of year. About 3 degrees is what we see. That's what we're going to see in Pembroke. 4 degrees for the overnight. Kingston, a warm 7 degrees. And as we look really towards Mont-Tremblant, 9, 11 in Montreal. But the rain is anticipated to carry on for most of the overnight hours. Tomorrow's highs, the rain would likely linger for Pembroke, Bancroft, really for the early morning. But by the time the afternoon rolls around, really much of the region will be sitting with 15 degrees and a lot of some sunshine. A little bit of cloud cover, but for the most part, the sunshine. And that's the good news because we are anticipating more rain by the end of the week. Across the region, we are seeing temperatures about 13, 12 degrees in Fredericton and Charlottetown. As we make our way back here to Ontario, notice all the cool air in Northern Ontario making its way down here. So the fall-like conditions are starting to return. So say goodbye to that 20-degree weather. 13 degrees in Toronto, Windsor, 14 degrees, much cooler as we look towards our friends in the prairies where we're experiencing 4 degrees and rain in Regina, 9 degrees in Edmonton, Calgary sitting at a cool 10 degrees. Now the 7-day forecast is brought to you by Davidson Hearing Aid Centers, celebrating over 80 years in family business. We've got a mix of sun and cloud for our Tuesday, daytime high 15 degrees. As we look towards Wednesday, 60% chance that we could see more rain moving through. That's the likeliness that we'll get it. Thursday into Friday, even into Saturday, there might be a chance of some showers, I should say. But my bet is for Wednesday. Things are going to slightly cool when we get from Friday into Saturday. That overnight low, 1 degree, and 8 degrees for our Saturday, the daytime high.
We go together, better than birds of a feather, you and me.
Ottawa, get ready. The Jonas Brothers are coming to the Canadian Tire Centre on December 15th. Joining the party is special guest Jesse McCartney, and we want you there. Thanks to our friends at Ottawa's Move 100, we have your chance to experience one unforgettable night. And you could win a pair of tickets, get this, in the first 5 rows to see the Jonas Brothers. Head over to ctvottawa.ca now and enter for your chance to win. Good luck. All right, and with Halloween just around the corner, many homes are already decked out. We want to showcase some of the city's most creative decorations. So all you got to do, send us photos of your home for our online gallery. All you have to do is hit submit now on our website or send them to CTV Ottawa or Ottawa Photos, I should say, at ctv.ca. So that email again is ottawaphotos@ctvottawa.ca. And hey, we could feature your pictures here on our website. And we are looking for places to go next week for our Halloween-themed week.
Well, just ahead, it sounds like a movie script. We'll have an update on the brazen heist at the Louvre.
Tonight, widespread internet outages.
It does have this cascading impact where one system goes down, then another.
What services were impacted and the hit to Blue Jays ticket holders ahead of a decisive playoff game. Later on CTV National News.
Well, in tonight's big picture, the Louvre remained closed today after what some are calling the heist of the century at the iconic museum. Thieves reportedly got away with several priceless jewels from the collection of Napoleon and his empress. According to authorities, an emerald-set imperial crown containing more than 1,000 diamonds was later found dropped and broken outside of the museum. Four thieves used a basket lift to get into the museum yesterday. Reports say they were carrying small chainsaws and escaped on a scooter. Officials say the theft took less than 7 minutes. Well, now some other stories you need to know right now. Apps, websites, and services across the world were disrupted this morning after an outage at Amazon's cloud computing service.
This is going to cause a lot of companies to pause and rethink about the way that they're actually interacting with web and cloud services.
Amazon Web Services provides on-demand computing-powered data storage and other digital services for popular websites and apps, including Snapchat, Zoom, and Lyft. The company says the problem originated on the U.S. East Coast at a unit which provides web infrastructure for several companies. While many services have returned online, there are still some disruptions tonight. Trains are once again stopping at all stations along LRT Line 2 after emergency repair work. OC Transpo says the disruptions were not due to any Line 2 issue, but were caused by vandalism to a Rogers communication line. Service was disrupted last night between South Keys and Mooney's Bay stations to allow Rogers to complete the repair work. Full service resumed around 10 a.m. this morning.
We celebrate with family, laughter, light, and lots of sweets.
Millions of people around the world and across Canada are celebrating Diwali. This is what the setup looks like at Nasa Foods, a South Asian grocer on Woodruff Avenue. The annual Festival of Lights is held over 5 days. It's one of the most significant celebrations in Hinduism, symbolizing light over darkness and good over evil.
It is with reverence and gratitude that I accept the first poppy.
The Royal Canadian Legion presented Governor-General Mary Simon with the ceremonial first poppy here in Ottawa today. The traditional event represents the ceremonial start to the Remembrance period. The National Poppy Campaign officially begins on October 31st. This year, funds donated are used to support veterans and their families. Well, coming up, Ottawa Mayor Mark Sutcliffe joins us live in studio to discuss the latest report on the Lansdowne 2.0 project.
Get the latest live local breaking news. Sign up now for our morning and evening CTV News Ottawa newsletter. The best local content from CTV News, Your Morning Ottawa, and News Talk 580 CFRA. Get it all in one place. Sign up now at ctvnewsottawa.ca. The CTV News Ottawa newsletter is brought to you in part by CAA Business.
Well, taking a closer look now at one of our top stories. With the final vote on Lansdowne 2.0 just weeks away, we're learning exactly how much the project will cost. Ottawa's mayor unveiling the price tag today, $418.8 million, just slightly less than the original estimate. Mayor Mark Sutcliffe joins us live in studio, and I appreciate you being here.
My pleasure, Patricia.
We want to talk about that price tag because it's immediately controversial. As you were talking this morning, other councillors are posting and sending their own information. Councillor Menard, another group, says that number is still not an accurate price tag, and the actual price is probably closer to where the Auditor General landed, upwards to closer to $500 million. What has changed if, in fact, your numbers are accurate and this is going to cost as little as you say?
So a couple things. First of all, the important number is what's the net cost to taxpayers? And it's not 400 million or 500 million, as some people are saying. The net cost to taxpayers is going to be about 130 million. That works out to about $4.3 million a year over the lifetime of the project. We thought it was going to be about $5 million a year. Now it's $4.3 million a year. We thought the total cost was going to be $146 million. It's now $130 million. And the reason for that is there's a whole bunch of revenues that are coming in as a result of this project. Normally when we invest in community centers and swimming pools and skating rinks, we pay 100% of the capital cost and we pay 100% of the operating costs. With Lansdowne, we have a huge opportunity because there's actually revenue coming back to us. So the number that matters is the net construction cost. And now we know what that cost is because we actually have people ready to do the construction and they've bid on the price and we've secured that price.
And those names are in the report that came out just shortly before we went to air. But as you were speaking this morning at City Hall several hours earlier, you were talking about revenue, and we talked to someone at a community group right after who said, well, I'm still looking at these numbers and trying to figure it out, because when you say revenue, we say, well, OSEG has not been producing money. That money is not coming in. You talk about broadcast rights. I mean, how sure is that revenue number that you put in there? Is that a little loosey-goosey?
Of course not. So these are projections that have been done by experts. There are a whole bunch of different areas where we're generating revenue. To give you one example, we're going to allow a developer to build 2 residential towers on the site, which are going to be amazing. We forecast that we would be able to get $39 million for the air rights for those 2 towers. We ended up getting $65 million when developers actually bid on the rights to build those towers. So that's an extra $20 or $30 million going towards this project just from that alone. There are all kinds of different ways this project will generate revenue, from a ticket surcharge, from money from the municipal accommodation tax, the room tax that we charge when people stay in hotels in Ottawa. And all of those revenues are reducing the net cost to taxpayers and making this a great deal for the City of Ottawa.
Okay, let me ask you, why handle it the way you did today? Why your news conference at 11 with the anticipation of the report? The report's still hours away, and those councillors who are opposed are jumping on that, saying the mayor wants to get his message out before we've all had a chance to look at this report. Were you handling it that way because you are concerned that there is now so much opposition mounting to Lansdowne that this might not actually go ahead in a couple of weeks?
Let's remember that there were a small group of people last time around in 2014 who were opposed to this project. Many of them are opposed to the project again. I don't think there's anybody in our community, though, who wishes we had a time machine and we could go back to 2014 and take away all the incredible improvements that we've made to Lansdowne over the course of the past 10 years. It's been amazing. We went from having 250,000 people a year going to Lansdowne to having 4 million people a year go to Lansdowne Park. We have a Christmas market, a farmer's market. We've been attracting national and international events. We've got the Red Blacks, the Charge, the 67s. It's been amazing. So there are people who want to turn the clock back. I'm not interested in that. I want to keep Ottawa moving forward. We have a responsibility to make a smart, responsible decision here, and that's what we're going to do.
Mayor Mark Sutcliffe, thank you very much.
Thank you.
I can't remember if they were all in one book or maybe in 2 or 3 books, and I just noticed them, and I thought, oh, I'll take these books.
Well, coming up, a discovery of ration booklets from the Second World War connects 2 families with a piece of Canadian history.
This league has done so much for my sport world, but also for my life.
Well, hockey season is back, which means the return of Ottawa Power Wheelchair Hockey. The league, run entirely by volunteers, welcomes players with varying disabilities, giving them a chance to participate in sport. It has grown steadily over the years and is now one of the largest of its kind in Canada. Well, it's the kind of discovery you'd never expect from an old book. A piece of the past from the Second World War is now connecting families in 2 provinces with a remarkable chapter of Canadian history. CTV's Caitlin Wilson has that story.
We have 2 different kinds. We have a ration book 5 and we have ration book 6.
It's the last thing Sherry Laurent expected to find when she picked up a couple of old books from a church sale in St. Lambert, Quebec, more than 30 years ago.
I can't remember if they were all in one book or maybe in 2 or 3 books, and I just noticed them, and I thought, oh, I'll take these books.
Tucked between the pages, pieces of history frozen in time.
This one was the newer version. It has a couple more pages.
They were ration cards issued to Canadian families during the Second World War when things like sugar, meat, and butter were strictly limited to help stretch supplies and support the war effort.
My parents are both deceased, but they, lived through the war and that sort of thing. So I've heard about them, but I had never seen them in person.
For years, she kept them on a shelf before moving to Ottawa, where they sat in a box until recently when she came across them again and wondered who did they belong to. So she turned to Facebook, posting a few photos and a name.
Within minutes, I had a couple of people, hey, I know that family, I could put you in touch with somebody. So it literally took less than an hour.
Her search led her to Ian Keeler in Brossard, Quebec, the grandson of Don and Agnes, known as Nessie Keeler. The names written on the outside of the books, which also belong to his father and uncle.
The part is really interesting. I'm a very big interested in my genealogy. So I was very, very keen to get those ration cards because to me it added another piece of the history.
He says his grandfather had immigrated from Trinidad, served in the First World War, and married his wife in Scotland before the couple settled in what's now St. Hubert, Quebec.
It's a lot harder to find stories and the links to the past when the people are no longer with us. You've got to go with little bits and pieces of paper you find in books.
Now Ian's sister plans to meet Sherry in person to collect the ration cards, a small act of kindness closing a chapter roughly 80 years in the making.
That book has two stories. That is the original story of the book and also the story of the World War II ration cards. And I think that's just very, very, very interesting.
Caitlin Wilson, CTV News.
Well, coming up, Ottawa's Rachel Homan wins another Grand Slam title, cementing her place as one of the greatest skips in curling history. Jackie.
Thanks, Patricia. Environment Canada forecasting between 10 to 15 millimeters of rain in total today, so we are anticipating periods of rain for this evening. It should lighten up by the time midnight rolls around, where tomorrow we are anticipating a mix of sun and cloud and a daytime high of 15 degrees. Now here's a live look through our Centennial Glass Sky Cam. Still a bit windy out there, but not as strong as what we saw about 20 minutes ago. 11 degrees here in downtown Ottawa.
Your morning just got a little brighter. Wake up and start your day with CTV Your Morning, and you could be $20,000 richer. Simply watch CTV Your Morning Ottawa for the daily code word. Then enter it online at ctvottawa.ca for your chance to win. Imagine what you could do with an extra $20,000. CTV Your Morning's $20,000 giveaway. Watch CTV Your Morning Ottawa, weekday morning 6 to 9.
Tomorrow on CTV Your Morning Ottawa, we introduce you to a local soccer player who is off to Qatar to play in the U17 World Cup. Wake up the right way with Your Morning Ottawa starting at 6 a.m.
Hairstyles, courtesy of Salon Fiorella.
Well, here's a recap of the top stories we are following right now.
The big news today is that Lansdowne 2.0 will cost us much less than we thought it would when the plan was approved by City Council 2 years ago.
Lansdowne 2.0 set to cost $418.8 million. The mayor unveiling an updated price tag for the project.
It was bad. The bad fire, like a big rolling red fire. I was afraid my house was going to burn down there.
Wildfires burning in western Quebec and eastern Ontario after record-breaking temperatures this past weekend.
Now I have to take an Uber and have to pay $30 just to go and $30 to come back.
Public transit in Gatineau brought to a grinding halt due to an STO strike. People standing out there in the wet weather this morning. What does tomorrow have in store?
Well, I got good news for you, Patricia, and for the viewers at home, excuse me. A mix of sun and cloud is what we're anticipating, and that's going to remain for most of the day. Yeah, we're starting off with 8 degrees, getting to a daytime high of about 15 degrees, but then Wednesday into Thursday, Friday, and even Saturday, the chance of rain will be sticking around for the rest of the week. Monday is looking like the next day we will see absolute sunshine, but so will be the colder temperatures.
Monday's a long ways away. All right, Jackie, thank you. We want to check in and see what our news team is working on for tonight. Austin is on the deck at 11:30. At 11:30.
Yeah, thank you, Patricia. We are talking all Blue Jays all night. It's a crucial Game 7 tonight, obviously, to see
who will play in the World Series. Seattle or Toronto? First pitch is at 10 after 8, and you can be sure that most Canadian sports fans, if not all of them, will be tuned into this one. This is a team that has captivated the nation, so we will have local reaction to tonight's game later on this evening. Of course, you can get the news anytime, anywhere at ctvnewsottawa.ca, and join me tonight for CTV News at 11:30.
We will blame having baseball on the brain for saying you were on deck instead of on the desk.
There you go.
All right, finally for us tonight, Ottawa's own Rachel Homan has made curling history, picking up her 19th Grand Slam title. So with the win, Homan surpassed Kevin Martin for the most Grand Slam wins among all skips across both divisions. She celebrated with her teammates and her kids after beating Switzerland's Silvana Terzoni 8-2 in the women's final at the Co-op Tour Challenge just south of Edmonton over the weekend. The win also marks second Emma Miskew's 19th Grand Slam. They have been teamed up together for a long time. Why would you split them apart when they have the kind of success they do? Yeah. Curling fans, either of you?
I've played, I've tried it.
Yeah.
Not my sport. I could not hold my balance, but I applaud anyone who, you know, Rachel Homan.
It's a lot of fun. The most fun is teaching people who've never played it before because they can hold their balance.
Yeah.
You look like a curler.
Oh my God, no,
No?
far from it. I'm the same boat as Jackie. I've tried it like once, and it was brutal. It was a terrible attempt.
All right.
You gonna give us some
tips? That should be our next league.
Yeah?
All right, these guys all psyched for Game 7 tonight. Can we have a Go Jays Go right here?
Yeah. Go Chase, go.
Go Jays, go.